Homeschooling already has its sets of challenges, and then add being an introvert or a shy person onto that, and it can feel extremely hard. And today I'm going to break down for you how I, as a very introverted person, am able to manage all of the socialization that comes with homeschooling. It is time for some girl talk. But first, welcome to my channel. I am Sheree Lanette. If you are new here, hello. If you are not, it's me, y'all. Don't let the different hair fool you. I'm still Sheree Lanette. I am a homeschool mom. I've been homeschooling my kiddos for 8 years, and I help new homeschool moms get started on their homeschooling journeys, especially homeschool moms here in Texas. Homeschooling as an introvert, or if you're a little shy, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It does make the socialization part harder. It just does. I am very used to kind of just staying in my comfort zone. And if we go out to social events, my husband kind of just takes the lead and he kind of talks to people. And if I vibe with somebody, then I jump in and I vibe with them. But I can kind of lay back, or if I start getting overstimulated, or like, he's got it because he's the life of the party. And I tend to be drawn to those type of people who have like the bigger personalities. They're louder, and it just lets me be me and be quiet, like in the back in the corner. You're already trying to deal with your own, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with this. Or if you get social anxiety or anything that comes with that, you're trying to deal with your own feelings while you're trying to manage and like orchestrate relationships and socialization for your kids. It is a lot, and it's something that has caused me extreme anxiety and frustration over the years, especially because I feel like I'm the introverted one and my husband is so like outgoing and he never meets a stranger. And I'm like, why am I in charge of the socialization part when you're so good at it and it comes so naturally to you? But as in any area of life, it gave me room to grow and to work on some things that I'm just not that great at and I'm just not that comfortable with. And so here are some steps that I took, or some things that just helped me manage my way through. So the first thing was just understanding that I needed to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I know that sounds like, well, that sucks. But honestly, anytime you want to grow in life, you're going to be uncomfortable. If you're ever feeling comfortable for too long, then you aren't doing what you need to be doing. At some point in some area of your life, you should be uncomfortable, because growth is uncomfortable. It's new. It feels weird. And it's just not what you're used to. So I, accepted the fact, like, okay, well, I guess I am in charge of their socialization, even though I have this charming, charismatic husband. I knew I had to just put myself into social situations that, were uncomfortable for me. I hate small talk. I hate chit chat. I really just enjoy like real conversations with people, and I had to get past that, because in this moment of time, it's not about me. It's about me making sure my kids are socializing, and because I chose to homeschool them, I am in charge of this, and I do have to orchestrate it. So if that means I have to go have some small talk, then so be it, because I'm doing it for my babies. And I think once I came to that place of like acceptance, I don't feel like I'm being forced to do something. It's like, okay, I chose to homeschool. This is what comes with it. It's going to be uncomfortable. Just accept that. Because I feel like once I come to a place of acceptance of like, I'm going to be a little bit uncomfortable, it helps me navigate it a little bit better. It don't make me love it, but it does help me take my power and say, okay, I am choosing to do this. So how am I going to make it easier on myself? And really, it isn't that I had to take any major steps. It's just that I had to do the thing that I was uncomfortable doing. And I had to do it in front of my kids. And I realized like modeling the behavior was really important, because I'm teaching them how to socialize and I'm teaching them how to meet people. And I need to show an example, because they've come to me like plenty of times, especially when they were younger, and they were like, Mommy, like if I want somebody to play with me, what do I say? Or how do I approach somebody and ask them, if I can play with them? I'm literally teaching them these socialization skills. I need to be able to do them too. And I remember one time my daughter, she was playing basketball at the Y, and her and this little girl just hit it off immediately. The little girl was supposed to be on her team, but I think the team was too big or something. So the girl, of course, that she hit it off with ended up being sent to another team. And Ariana just like, they kept seeing each other in passing. And I don't know why. Every time they saw each other, they were like long lost sisters, just running up, hugging each other, never seen each other before. And so she was like, Mommy, can you go talk to her, Mommy, to see maybe if we could schedule a play date? And I was, I do not want to go and talk to this lady. Like, I don't know her. And I did not want to go. And my husband's like, well, I can't go. It's weird if I go and ask her. Like, it needs to be the moms. At first, I felt like a little embarrassed because I was like, oh, my kids saw that I was like struggling to do this. They could tell like I really didn't want to do it. But that's such a good thing. It's a good thing that they saw like I was uncomfortable with it. I don't know her. I don't know if she's going to be like, girl, who are you? Like, you fear rejection. You fear like, it's just weird for me. And they got to see that. And then they got to see that I went over there and I just was like, hi, I'm Sheree. You know, my daughter, she seems to love your daughter. I was wondering if we can exchange phone numbers. And I'm so thankful because, of course, it was like the sweetest mom in the world. And she's like, yeah. And me and the mom ended up being like, she started being my workout partner. Like, we worked out like 3-4 times a week until she moved away and left me. But I never would have went up to her. I never would have met her in any other regard of life if, you know, my kids hadn't even pushed me to have that interaction. So our girls became friends. We became friends. But most importantly, my kids got to see that, you know, mommy was uncomfortable doing something. And I went and I did it. Didn't want to. Highly uncomfortable. So glad that I did, that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, because I could have easily been like, well, no, we got to get home. You know, I need to start doing. I could have made up a reason. Could have got out of it really easy. But it was more important for me to lean into what I had already told myself, that, you know, I have to be okay with being uncomfortable, because in this path that I chose, you know, of homeschooling, it is going to ask a little bit more of me. But with that being said, the more you do it, it's the stronger you get. And I don't know if any of you experienced this after the pandemic. I experienced it just being a stay-at-home mom. When you're home a lot, I had worked my whole life and then I have babies. I'm staying home and it's just like, you know, you're going out to the store, but you're home a lot. The baby dictates your schedule. And then I have my kids pretty much back to back. I felt like I stopped like knowing how to act around people or like have conversation. You just feel different and you feel weird. And I was trying to explain that to my husband, and like it was just like over his head. He did not understand what I was talking about. And after we went through the pandemic and we were home, and then my husband actually, we had our gym, we had to close our gym, and he started working from home. And then when he got back out and started working outside of the home again, he was like, I know what you were talking about. Like, I feel, and I'm telling you, like, extroverts, very charming, very charismatic, like life of the party. Like, he's so fun. And he was like, I feel weird. Like, I feel like I have to learn how to like talk to people again. And so if you are a homeschool mom and you were previously a stay-at-home mom, I feel like it kind of like we already have this thing where we're just kind of not around a whole lot of people all the time, unless you've just been actively in a mom group or a co-op, or maybe you have some girlfriends you hang out with a lot. But a lot of times we can like feel like we don't really know how to connect with people already. And then you add being shy or an introvert to that, and it does make it harder. So it is important that once you do it, that you continue to work that muscle, because it's just like anything else. Everything's hard at the beginning. I don't care if it's new. It's going to be a little challenging because it's new. But then you do it again and it gets a little bit easier. And then you do it again and it gets a little bit easier. And by the 10th time you do it, it's just like, okay, I can do this. And so I say all this to say, it does get easier. I know it's uncomfortable at first. I know it's like, oh my gosh, you don't want to experience those uncomfortable feelings, but it's just part of it. We have to be okay with being uncomfortable. And the more you do it, easier it gets. And then just think of like the modeling and the great example that you set for your babies. Like, there's no beating that. If you struggle with being an introvert or shyness, in the comments, let me know. What are some ways that you worked through it? How did you manage it? How are you still managing it? And as always, if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about here on Girl Talk, just let me know in the comments. I thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I will be releasing, of course, another episode next week. And last week, I did not post our weekly vlog. We took a little breather, but it will be back this week on Saturday. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe so you can catch up with that. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.